Hello, everyone. This is your love and finance tarot guidance for the month of October 2021. I want to welcome those listening in today from Podcast Land, YouTube, Triller, and anywhere else this may be posted. Normally, this reading is part of a subscription package available through Patreon, Facebook, and my website, tarotbycecilia.com. New members are always welcome, and if you need help joining, just send me a message. You are practically in the home stretch of 2021 and may have implemented some changes in September, which you hope will take you to where you need to be on your journey. October may not be the easiest of months, as it is overshadowed by Mercury's final retrograde for this year, happening totally in the air sign of Libra. This month will, however, contain its bright spots, so let us see if we can uncover them. October 6th features a new moon, 13 degrees Libra, as well as Pluto stationing direct. Pluto is the first to go direct this month, and you will see the others following suit. With no close major aspects until the 8th, and Mercury being retrograde, it is likely that what will be felt the most is the Pluto station. This new moon may not be a time for beginning anything new, but it can be a time for new beginnings, especially in your quest for balance. Pluto resuming direct motion will allow you to live and speak your truth and move forward towards the transformation you desire. Venus enters Sagittarius on the 7th to stay through November 5th. This energy can be a bit scattered, but it could be good for travel, which has been pre-planned. And if sticking close to home, perhaps trying a new cuisine will be in order. Saturn will turn to direct motion on the 10th, meaning the taskmaster will be back at it, holding you accountable for learning life's lessons. Jupiter goes direct at 22 degrees Aquarius, October 18th, followed hours later by Mercury going direct at 10 degrees Libra. Do remember to wait a few days, perhaps 5, before moving forward with anything new. Stationing planets are very powerful. The full moon, 27 degrees Aries, which has shown up in so many readings as a turning point or a point of forward movement, happens on the 20th. Indecision becomes a thing of the past with the sun's entry into all or nothing Scorpio on the 23rd, where it will remain through November 21st. Scorpio is the sign of transformation, death, and rebirth. The intensity ramps up several notches with Mars going home to Scorpio on October 30th to stay for 6 weeks. Let the real transformations begin. This energy may feel rather extreme for some of you, as Scorpio has no in-between mode. This month begins with a standoff between Mars and Chiron on the 1st. Whether you are male or female, you have both a masculine side and a feminine side, and this transit is about the masculine side and facing something about it which needs to be healed. Mercury will square Pluto on the same day, just to add to the tension. Considering that both are still retrograde, it would be wise to question the validity of what is being said. The conspiracy theorists will be pushing their agendas quite heavily now. On the 2nd, Venus sextile Pluto will certainly deepen your love, and you may not be able to get a certain someone off your mind. The 3rd brings an opposition between the Sun and Chiron, asking you to face some very deep wounds which require healing and resolution. Some may suffer from issues of self-esteem or perhaps just a lack of confidence. This day will also feature a trine with Mercury and Jupiter. Both are retrograde, but they can still serve up a dose of optimism and good news. The Sun will conjunct Mars on October 8th, and you may be feeling really full of yourself, as the saying goes. Try not to gravitate toward grandiose behavior and find an outlet for all of this rambunctious energy, born of overconfidence and aggressive tendencies. Put yourself into your projects and let your creative spirit soar. On the 9th, the Sun will conjunct Mercury, and if you have ever called Mercury retrograde the devil, then you can think of this as death takes a holiday. Just kidding. But a Mercury cazimi gives you a window of opportunity for clear and precise communication and thought. Also on the 9th, Venus opposes the North Node, and while this may not bode favorably for your love life, you may be called upon to put your creative talents to good use now. A conjunction between Mercury and Mars completes the aspect lineup for the 9th. Be sure to engage your brain in a few brain teasers to combat this rather aggressive energy. It needs an outlet, and if you allow it to build up, you may just burst and not be able to control what you say or do. Remember, Mars is the aggressor, and Mercury controls thought and communication. Venus will sextile Saturn on the 13th, and normally this one would be good for entering into a long-term commitment. However, Mercury is retrograde. You may best use this aspect by consulting with an older or wiser individual, perhaps someone who can teach you about some of life's tough lessons. The Sun trines Jupiter October 15th, and this may be the bright spot to which I refer back in the beginning. This is a feel-good transit, boosting confidence and bringing good luck and good fortune as well. When you feel good, you do good. So use this opportunity to expand on something rather than just basking in the joy of the moment. It does not get much better than this. On the 16th, Venus will trine Chiron, helping you to find ways to support your relationships through healing and transformation. On the 16th, also, Mercury will sextile Venus. This happens on a Saturday, so your chances of enjoying it may be good. This is a social transit, one where you can let your hair down and just be yourself and have fun. People should be getting along and in a more peaceable mood. If you need something from someone, put Venus's charms to good use and go get it. A square occurs between the Sun and Pluto on the 17th. Egos may flare now, with temper tantrums possible. You could find yourself tangling with the boss, but make sure no one starts throwing things or slamming doors. Mars will trine stationing Jupiter on the 18th, and action on your part can lead to success. In life, it is not about having it all handed to you. It is about calling it to you, and your efforts shall definitely be rewarded. On the 22nd, Mars will square off with Pluto. The gloves are off and the struggles are real. This aspect is about power plays, and some of the energy may be way too intense for most people. Try to harness this energy for your own gain and stay out of the argument zone. You can boost your position on a job or work to transform an area of life quietly. Venus square Neptune will occur the 26th. And if you're in an unhealthy relationship or just wanting to be, the illusion created by Neptune can wreak all kinds of havoc. Whether you are feeling less than or unworthy or putting someone on an undeserved pedestal, you are putting yourself in a position for a world of hurt and pain. The 28th features a sextile between Venus and newly direct Jupiter, and generosity peaks now. I'm reminded of Oprah. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. It may not be a car, but even a smile from the right person can warm your heart at this time and have you feeling great. This transit basically embodies that generosity of spirit I am talking about. So more people in a good mood, being nicer to one another. Yeah, I'll take that. The intense Scorpio Sun squares Saturn on the 30th. This may feel like some form of crunch time for you as you strive to meet deadlines and live up to the expectations of others and complete your responsibilities. This may be overshadowed by Mars moving home to Scorpio, so how you feel this intensity will matter. Well, that was quite a lengthy prefix to the reading, but there's a lot that is going on, right? So, to me, before I even look at the cards, just with all of those energies, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a great deal of uncertainty at times, but there's also the ability to move along, all right, to still move forward. It takes a certain knack to do it, but by month's end, that bright opening will be right ahead. So, this is one of those months where you you give it up to the universe, and you know that you need to be, patient, but it doesn't deter you. All right. When I first started laying down the cards, what I was thinking of was like having that true grit. They call it a fire in your belly. Okay. I hate the word belly, by the way, but it's that passion and that drive to keep going in spite of everything. All right. Not being deterred, with your hopes and dreams. All right. Not letting that passion wane. But there is the Libra. There is so much Libra for the early part of the month that has you just trying to get things, more even keeled. And I think that it's in your best interest that you do this. You can see the areas of your life that may have been out of focus and where you need to do better, and perhaps, bring things into moderation. And sometimes that has to do with habits, such as eating and drinking and, phone time, whatever it may be. If you're always beating yourself up for something that you do, this month is telling you that it's a good time to get it back into balance. Now, I would be remiss if I did not tell you that there is conflict throughout. There's tension, there's stress. Does it occupy every moment of every day? No, it does not, but it is there. And when it does crop up, it is one of those things where it's necessary for you to put everything aside, whatever you're doing, and focus on getting things right. Maybe you need to pull out paperwork for something and, get it all sorted and situated, things of that nature. But, something may need your undivided attention at either the new moon or the full moon. You do not have to lose ground this month, okay? That is something very important to remember. And I don't think anyone wants to either, all right? We all know that old one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. And I don't think any of you are having it. There is a need to find what will help you heal, what will help you to recover. Scorpio energy. Yeah, it's definitely what you need. This is around the time the sun enters Scorpio. You have Jupiter direct, all right? Jupiter, of course, is always, bringing in the abundance and allowing you to manifest and giving its gifts. And let's not forget Mars, which only gets to go home to Scorpio every other year, okay? So being in its home sign, Mars is going to be more powerful, and there's a lot of action, once October 30th comes. You see things really starting to move over, I want to say October, November, December, getting a much firmer footing. There's still something powerful about that full moon on the 20th, okay? I'm seeing it here everywhere, all right? That Aries energy, that fire, that drive. And you have to remember that, Mars also rules Aries. So, yeah, look at this. It's amazing to me. Once you see that the changes are possible, you're willing to go through anything. I'm reminded of the show Survivor, which I don't watch, by the way, but when people go on that show, they're willing to do anything to get to the prize, right? It's that way with most game shows, but that one, has some pretty rough terrain. And October, as we can see, is definitely like an obstacle course, but it doesn't mean that you're not leaving a lot of that behind, all right, which is happening come that full moon. I'm telling you, Mercury will be direct. Jupiter will be direct. Pluto and Saturn. Yeah, things are really starting to say, see ya. I was going to say hasta la vista. I feel like you're getting ready for something bigger this month, but even you yet don't know yet what it is. That's the thing. Sometimes you think you know what you're planning, what you're doing, that kind of thing. Just putting something here, putting something there, trying to keep up. You know, Mercury, of course, has you revisiting the past and showing you that if you stay stuck there, you will be stuck. You know, you need to get out of your own way sometimes. We have a tendency, I think all of us at one time or another, to not be as forward thinking as we should be, and to start thinking about things that happened. And when you let those things hold you back and you can't get out of your own head, right? You get in your own way. You get in the way of your own power. And you know, it's time. It really is time to, I like to say, like, answer the call, right? It's not about what you've been sending out there. It's what's calling you, what you need to be doing next. And, you know, here you are. I want to say by mid-November, could be December, but I think it's way before then. And nothing is going to hold you back, okay? You are ready. And, let's see, this was October, November. It could take you into December, I would guess. But, you know, it's not just that there's beginnings here. It's about the choices that you're making to move forward. And I saw you further back, you know, kind of taking time out for review and what you're keeping and what you're not. All right, because we have these review periods so we can see how we are self-sabotaging, how we've become stuck in a rut, right? And so this is going to let you keep what works and get rid of what doesn't. All right, there's a lot of creation here. I wanted to say creativity, but it's creation. All right, it's almost like starting fresh, but not. Okay, I got a feeling that comes later, like a few months or so, and sometime into next year. I don't know why I want to say that, but I am feeling that way. Wow, just wow. You know, you're getting your passion back, and that's important. Victory over perceived betrayals. That could be this year, could be next month around the time of the first eclipse, okay? But I'm also seeing here this month's new moon, okay? Yeah, like I said, it happens in the sign of Libra, and I just don't feel that there's enough clarity at that new moon. And there's also perhaps way too much emotion and trying to figure out how to balance everything, all right? Because that's what that new moon is going to be demanding and to be about. More about balance here. But look at you. Yeah, you know, this month has movement in it, okay? It definitely does. You're going to start to see around the third, fourth week, okay? You know, where your plans are suddenly moving forward. The delays are going. Once Mercury goes direct, okay, that's the 18th. So the full moon's the 20th. I think you're really starting to move along, especially once Scorpio season kicks in. This month will definitely have you reflecting on the give and take in relationships. And I also mentioned, you know, assessment and generosity, things of that nature that are coming up. But, you know, be careful when you do. When we get caught up in that generosity of spirit, this is not the time to be overly generous. And you may think, well, that's terrible of her to say that, you know, but it's true, because you're not in a clear mode where you may misjudge what you have to give, and you definitely do not want to do that. So, but I like the way this is looking for you. I think there's a more secure position that is coming. Maybe by late November you'll really see it. Forgive me, there is something that looks like an actual collision course. And I'm not saying obstacle course. I was talking about October being an obstacle course, but collision course. Okay, I had to pause for a minute and go see what that was about, because I could see what it is, but I wanted to see when it was. And I'm looking at like November the 4th, which I believe is also the day of the full moon. I mean, a full moon, the new moon in Scorpio. And on that day, on the 4th, the sun will oppose Uranus. And, you know, it's like, it's a kind of thing that just like smacks you in the face. It's like running into a brick wall. It doesn't have to be bad, but sometimes, you know, what would happen if you ran into a brick wall? Let's have a visual. It's in your way, right? So you probably have to go right or you have to go left and go along the wall until you find an opening, correct? And most of us cannot scale a big wall. So, you know, that's how I'm seeing it, is like a collision course. But this month literally covers every feeling, every, you know, every, not scenario, but all the ups and downs, all the emotions that could be in there. The highs, the lows, the battles, the wins, the losses, you name it, it's all there. You know, relationship issues. Mercury, hello. So you are definitely not in control this month. It's more like wild horses run amok. All right, but whatever it is that's coming, okay, it's an area that needs healing. And it just, whether the universe says you can go no further until you fix this, I don't know what it is. I can't give you a scenario for it. All right, I just know that there is a lot that's here. Oh, look at that. Wait a minute here. I gotta try to see. Yeah. When. All right. Boy, you're gonna think very differently about a lot of things, probably by the beginning of December. Okay. So different. Well, finally finding that balance. Thank goodness Jupiter is going direct and returning to direct motion. There's just so much here. You need that change in fortune. You need some kind of good luck coming your way, and it does. But you're also resuming movement towards your goals. Okay, this is one of those, at least in the first 3 weeks of the month, where you're just kind of being guided along. All right, I don't think you can, buck the system or buck the energies or whatever and try to, bypass them. I don't think it works that way. They're all there in their own time and place to, show you where things need fixing, where you need balance. There is also this celebration of you that is taking place. All right, you with a new view, even a new view of your goals and how you plan to carry them out. I'm telling you, I'm absolutely loving this. I mean, I see some spots that, to look at that, like it looks scary, right? It's not meant to be. This is not meant to scare you in any way. And anybody that's been with me for a long time knows that I am not a gloom and doom reader. I'm here to help you find your way, help you find the bright spots, and to move forward. So, there are all kinds of new beginnings and fresh starts that are coming. I want to be able to say when, and a part of me wants to say like the new year, I don't know why. I want it to be sooner, but I'm talking like a big beginning. All right, maybe it's just a whole new attitude that comes up, because I'm seeing here a lot of success for you, like getting some things closed out and new doors that are opening. And that's way before then, because what I'm getting from all of this is that there is a sense of overcoming, needing to overcome, and that you do it. All right, everything that has been, weighing you down, and like I talked about that obstacle course and everything, it's like you find your way through it. You find your way through it. This month may be one of the last, bigger challenges. I think that new moon in Scorpio next month is like, okay, before you proceed, before you go any further, one more thing here, okay? But that's just it. You're ready. You're managing to find that balance. You're managing to, move towards your goals the way you want to. And I'm seeing here that there's a need to, I want to say, pay attention. All right? Because sometimes the messages that are there are subtle. Like the universe kind of weaves its own little thing, its own little magic. And you may think something is a minor event, but I'm here to tell you that it may not be, especially with Jupiter stationing direct this month. Okay, Jupiter has a way of putting the right people on your path at the right time. And while it might not in that moment, bring any results for you, or have you even thinking about it bringing you any results, but somewhere down the line, it has a way of doing that, okay? It's amazing to me what Jupiter can do. So there's little messages that are here, and they're not so easily seen or noticed. So like I said, you need to pay attention. But I really, I keep thinking time, like a cycle of time that goes by, and I feel like it's this year, and then what that means. Because when you begin the new year, I just feel like you're on top of the world. And we do, by the way, begin 2022 with anyone who's keeping track, with Mercury having entered shadow. It will do that on December 29th. It's going to retrograde starting off in Capricorn. So just to give you a heads up, I know we got to get through this one first, but I figured I'd mention it because it'll be a while before we see the 2022 readings posted. So I say anything goes this month, okay? I see some gasps, some oohs and ahs, some uh-ohs, and everything in between, all right? It's literally going to run the gamut of anything could be possible. But I really think that the most important thing you can do is, if you know that there's something that needs your attention, to make sure that you have, dealt with that brick wall before November arrives. All right, but this is a big month. I don't think it's going to get enough credit because of all of the retrograde motion, but I think where it deposits you, where it puts you, okay, is going to be very key, because that new moon on November the 4th starts the final eclipse season of 2021. Even though that is not an eclipse, the eclipse season begins then. So I want to thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.